Jó estét kívánunk mindenkinek, szeretettel köszöntjük Önöket, akik eljöttek meghallgatni, hogy vajon mire vagyunk képesek, reméljük nem lesznek nagyon csalódottak, és el kell mondjam, hogy miután elég sokan vannak, akik nem értenek magyarul, a továbbiakban angolul fogok beszélni, hogy az angolul tudó vendégeink is megértsék. Welcome everybody, and we are very glad that you came and will listen to our music, and hopefully you won't be disappointed. I will be the first one to play, not because I am the youngest. Normally the youngest is the first, now the oldest will be the first, but I want to take over the video after I am done. You may not know that we have established a pattern of having concerts every year twice, one in the fall and in the spring or in the early summer. We don't have too many players for this evening, so therefore the second part of the evening will be some movies that I made in Thailand and Cambodia. And if you are interested, I am hoping that you will stay and watch that too. So last time when I played Mozart's sonata in A major, I already mentioned that Mozart has been always one of my favorite composers, and I really like to play his works. And today I will play again a Mozart, this time a very special piece. And this piece is so unique that I would say that's the most modern piece by Mozart. First of all, the form is very special, no sonata or rondo or anything of that kind. It's a fantasia, and consists of 5 sections. And the interesting part of it is that although it's in C minor as a major key, but there is no key signature at all in the piece except in the middle section for a short section. But I mentioned that it's so modern because the harmonies are so unique and it keeps changing the keys. Maybe that's why he didn't write any key signature, because I started counting in the first 2 pages and the third pages, and I was up to 16 different keys, and then I gave up, because that was that many. So it's a very special piece, and hope you will enjoy it. It's sometimes slow, sometimes fast, and it's very interesting harmonies can be heard. So thanks very much, and now let's listen to the Mozart's Fantasia in C minor.
We don't have program notes, so that's why I am feeling that I should talk to you a little bit about the piece you will hear. Here, the next performer is Jeremy Caravaggio, and he will play the C minor Preludium and Fugue by Johann Sebastian Bach. This is one piece of a series of 48 pieces written by Johann Sebastian Bach. He wrote that in 1722 while he was in Köthen, and he wrote that for the well-tempered klavír, jól hangolt zongorának darabjai között van ez. 48 pieces, for every key he wrote 2 pieces. These pieces are extremely difficult, and one wouldn't think just by first listening, but believe me, it is. And when we had a performance by the great Ottawa piano player Angela Hewitt at the National Arts Center, that was a revelation and a sensation, because I very clearly can say that to play this series on one concert is way harder than any full program to play on a concert. So this is just as a sideline remark, and we are very lucky that we have Angela Hewitt, who lives now in Italy though, but visits Ottawa fairly frequently. Now, the Preludium is in free form, and the fugue, which means to run, have strict requirements, because every part of the fugue is of equal importance. So not like a classical piece where you have a melody and a lovely accompaniment to it. In this case, every single part is equally important. So this way, this time we'll hear Jeremy then playing the C minor Preludium and Fugue by Bach. the next piece we shall hear will be the A minor sonatina by Friedrich Kuhlau. Kuhlau was a Danish composer, and he wrote in classical style, which means that the sonatina which he wrote it has 3 movements, 2 fast ones, in the middle is a slower one. He wrote this piece in 1825, and that was published, which is lucky because he had a fire in his house, and his house was burnt out with lots of musical manuscripts in it, which never were recovered. So anyways, this piece is for us to enjoy, and it's very interesting because this piece reminds me of somebody else, and I would like Reka, who is our performer, Prigli Reka, I would like her to play a few measures of another composition. And I ask my dear audience to please tell, what is this piece? I wonder whether these few measures gave you any clue. Yes? Could you shout what it is? Fidelis by Beethoven, exactly. Now, would you please, Reka, play the first few measures of the Kuhlau sonatina? So I hope it's not just myself who thinks that it is reminding me of the previous piece by Beethoven. Beethoven was admired by Kuhlau. Kuhlau visited Beethoven in 1825 in Vienna, and Beethoven thought highly of Kuhlau as well. And the Fidelis was written in 1810, so it certainly wasn't Beethoven who got the idea from Kuhlau, but the other way around, right? So the piece, otherwise, you won't think of Beethoven anymore, but certainly this is a little bit of a reference of Beethoven. So please listen, the Kuhlau sonatina, all 3 movements, performed by Prigli Reka. our next performer is Lucas Villeneuve, and he'll play a Chopin piece, a Chopin Polonaise in B-flat minor. Chopin Polonaise-ét játsza B-mollban. This piece is a part of 3 Polonaises he composed in Warsaw. He lived there until the age of 20, and he was 16 when he went to the Warsaw Opera with his friend Kolberg, and they saw a Rossini opera, La Gazza Ladra, a Selyemlétrát látták, and he has a reference in this piece, of this piece, and the piece gets a subtitle to Adieu, and the reference is Auf Wiedersehen. So maybe he did not see his friend very many times after. Anyways, it was dedicated for Kolberg. And so this piece, that Polonaise, has 3 parts. And the middle section is the trio, which has that reference for that event, that Adieu portion of it. Actually, listening to Rossini's equal part, I think he really did it in his romantic style. I wouldn't have recognized Rossini there. But you see, here it is. Chopin was 16 years old when he composed this piece, and it was a posthumous piece. It was never published, only about 40 years after his death. So this piece is so clearly showing us that this is a great talent. And you will see, he composes in romantic style. Same year, kind of, as Kuhlaus' composition. Kuhlaus was classical, Vienna classical, and here it is, Romanticism. So here you will hear the Polonaise, which is in a 3/4 time dance, and then there is a trio in it, as I say. So here you listen to Lucas, who is 16 years old as well. our last performer this evening is Tunde, and she'll play another Chopin piece. This is the E-flat major nocturne, S-dur nocturne-öt játsza. When you listen to it, you say, oh, sure, I have heard it several times and I just love it. And this piece is certainly one of his best beloved pieces. And when you just think of it, that it is a 21, 22-year-old composer who did that, and nobody can mix his style with anybody else. When you listen to a Chopin, oh yeah, that's by him. I always think it's a grand achievement, really. So a real romantic genius, and he has a very heartfelt melody which talks to us almost 200 years later as well, and I'm sure many more generations will love the piece. So the beautiful melodies, wonderful harmonic accompaniment, and then when he repeats, it is always adding some more ornaments which we enjoy, and I think you will just love it. Now, just before Tunde plays, I would like to ask that she would stay on the stage after, and the other 4 performers, I would like them to go up there. I know it's you don't want it, but there will be a photo made. Thank you very much.